What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So we are here to talk about our thoughts, our reaction for the newly released short film Sweet Revenge, which is the first, we'll call it the first, or now the return of what appears to be the new look and feel of Jason Voorhees in this, what they're now calling the Jason universe. It's been a long time since we've had anything Jason Voorhees related on any screen, whether that's the big screen, TV, what have you, because we know Crystal Lake is still very much in production, and it's going to be a minute before we get that. And side note, still doesn't make any sense to me why we are going to have they casted the child actor who's going to play a young Jason Voorhees, but the fact that they are also going to be giving us the adult Jason Voorhees in that prequel series again makes zero sense to me. But hopefully it will make sense when we actually get to see the series, but going based on what we know now, it doesn't make any sense. So this here again, Sweet Revenge is the first now time we've seen Jason on the big screen, small screen, whatever you want to call it, but either way we got a short film out of it. So if you didn't know, it's already been released this past week, about 3 days or so ago, and it's not that long. A short film is in fact that it's only about 15 minutes and 30 seconds long. So we're gonna get into our thoughts on this one. So I've watched it twice, and I watched it twice because there is a part in it that gets a bit confusing. So we're not gonna spend too much time in this because again, some of you may not have even known it. It's already been released. Just go out there. There's a YouTube channel out there called Jason Universe, or just go on YouTube and type in, Jason Voorhees or Jason Universe Sweet Revenge, and it should pop up as one of the top results, and then give it a watch. Now, what do I like about it? So I like that when it starts off, after we get past like the opening sequence of about, I'd say the first 2 minutes or so, maybe up to 2 minutes. I mean, we're immediately introduced to like this small group of friends. They're not like young teenagers. They're like young adults. There's 4 of them, 2 guys, 2 women, and there's one of them you can tell is a couple. And it appears though, as the scenes move on quickly, that the 2 women had both dated the one guy that they're focusing on in the vehicle at one point, but now one of them is in fact now engaged to him. So I mean, that's got to be kind of awkward, and you can see the awkwardness a bit at the beginning of this short film. But as we get the title on the screen, Sweet Revenge, and it moves into the overshots of the woods and the lake, and they get to the cabins, we get that 80s, we start to turn into this 80s vibe, right? We get some music that's very reminiscent of 80s, and just some of the aesthetics, how they're dressed, especially the 2 ladies. It's what you would imagine in a Friday the 13th film going to Camp Crystal Lake. So I appreciated that. It felt very reminiscent of the early films from the franchise. So they have a brief interaction with, I would call it like a caretaker, so to speak, or probably someone who manages the property of all like the cabins and stuff. Very short interaction. So they get into the cabin, get settled, and I'll call the main actress. I apologize. I don't know her name. I think her name was Allie. I think that's the actress's name. She's like the primary focus. So she wants to go out on the lake. And the boyfriend or whatever is supposed to meet her, doesn't show up, and they do here and there call this, because this was supposed to be somewhat of an advertisement for Angry Orchard, the lager or beer, and it's prevalent throughout. Whether people are eating apples, they're drinking the beer, the bottles are placed in a very particular way for the marketing aspect. So yeah, very reminiscent. So we get to a point though where she's on the lake, and she decides to get in like a canoe or boat to go out onto the lake, and the caretaker sees her, or is like watching her from a distance with like this rifle scope, and makes a comment like, "Oh, like it started," or she's done for. So she's out there rowing along, and she gets to a point where something's happening with the paddle in the water, like she's hitting something or she's getting stuck up on something. and she looks over to, and this is what kind of confused me a bit. She looked over to the shore, and I mean, from her the distance, you could tell. I mean, she can see the two individuals that are sitting there, like on their dock or a little bit up further from their dock. And right then, we see an adult Jason jump out of the water, pull her down into the water, and then we go back to the two people that are sitting on the dock, or again above, just above their dock, and their throats are slashed. They're both dead. And again, when you see it from her perspective, you would have thought she could have easily seen that and could tell that they were dead. Now, at that point, though, we do a bit of a time jump, because it seemed like we were in late afternoon, somewhat early evening, and we do a time jump to directly into the evening, like, almost like late into the evening. And she comes jumping out of the water, gasping for air, and starts swimming to shore. And now her the makeup that they gave her made it look like her eyes, like all the way around her eyes, was very dark, almost as if, I don't want to say possessed or something had happened to her, but it makes you believe as the rest of the 10 minutes go on, 9 minutes go on for the rest of the short film, that something has transpired, because she eventually starts making her way back to like where the cabins are, come across the home where the caretaker is at, finds him dead with an apple like shoved in his mouth, and I think he had like a knife or something like jabbed right through his eye to kill him. So he's dead. So she starts then, she grabs a machete. Obviously Jason's weapon of choice, grabs a machete and starts making her way back to the other cabins, comes across, which I thought was one of the best scenes. They came across the two other visitors or people that were there staying earlier. I mean, it was literally just a walk past. Did no conversation, no nothing. But we see these two individuals again, and they are completely killed, dismembered, and they're a couple of the lady is dismembered from the waist down. So both her halves are hanging from a clothesline. And the man's body is, his top half is laying up against a tree, and his legs and waist are also laying up, hung up on the clothesline with jumper cables. I thought that was the best scene. I absolutely loved how they did that scene. So she makes her way up to the cabin to find her fiance. She's looking through the window to find her fiance making out with the other lady that they came with, which again appears to be the ex. And you see this look come over her face again, like, okay, I'm out for revenge now. But right before that happens, like she starts to cry and get upset, Jason pops up behind her, throws her through the window. Everyone starts freaking out. And we don't see Jason fully at this point yet. We see his feet, we see his face, and they make him look taller than I think he really is. Because once she's thrown through the glass, Jason makes his way around as the boyfriend's gonna try to, get out and go get help. Jason kicks the door down, picks up, and has not picks up, he already has a boat engine with him, and turns it on, and then just kills the guy, puts the motor, the propeller thing in the guy's face, kills him, rips off the propeller from the engine, and throws it at the other guy running, trying to escape out the back door. Now, this is where we start to see the full scope of Jason's size, and I'm going to say it's what I expected. Especially when we looked at the concept art, he looks very much like the concept art. He does, even like in this picture on the screen here. He's not this over-towering, larger-than-life Jason Voorhees. He looks very much like average size individual that is Jason Voorhees, which again, I think that's a little bit of a downer, because if you look at some of the other films, especially all throughout the original films, he was very much came across as this larger than life person. So Allie gets after Jason killed the two guys, he stabs his machete through Allie while she's laying on the ground, doesn't kill her, and then goes over to the other lady, throws her on the counter and grabs an apple slicer, like the ones that you put the apple in the middle and you core it, and starts to jam it into her face. But Allie somehow manages to pull the machete out from the floorboard that it's stuck in, and through her entire torso, pull it out, get up, and then stab Jason with it as the friend escapes. It's just crazy to me that, again, that's why I'm thinking is there some sort of now superpower that she has, because I don't see that happening even in the other Friday the 13th films, that wouldn't have transpired. Jason wouldn't have just walked away. He would have finished her off. But as the friend runs out, we pan over to, as the friend runs out to escape, the primary like character, we see her like immediately get this serious pissed off look on her face watching her friend run out. So she darts over to the kitchen counter, grabs like a Michael Myers style kitchen knife, only to then appear to run after her, because once they get out to the car, her friend gets in driver's seat, realizes she doesn't have the keys, and then Allie shows up again. The actress named Allie shows up, shows her the keys. She gets in the passenger seat and like a scorn, like pissed off BFF, like just drops the keys in her lap. Like, I don't want to talk to you because I saw you kissing my fiance. Let's just get out of here. So as they start to drive away, obviously the friend doesn't realize she has the knife, and then just jabs her right in the face with it, and the car crashes. Now this is where it gets kind of, again, what happened to her when she was in the water, because she gets out and when she gets out and walks over to back to the road, she's got the kitchen knife. She looks over, sees Jason, and we both see like this focus on both of them individually, then together they're each gripping their weapon, and then they start walking towards each other. That's the short film. I don't, again, unless something happened to her in the water where now all of a sudden she feels like, hey, I'm unstoppable, I can take this guy, and then just has this smirk on her face, and then just starts walking towards him as Jason's walking towards her. So that was the short film. Again, it is what it is. It's a short film. Was it entertaining? Yeah, I'll say it was entertaining. I'm hoping they do some adjustments for Jason in later like feature films. I'm hoping they change his appearance a bit, because again, he doesn't come across as this larger than life villain horror character in this. He comes across as looking at just your average guy in some tethered clothes, puts on a hockey mask, and now that's Jason Voorhees. So again, I hope they change up. I mean, scoring this as a short film, I give it 3.5. I mean, it is what it is. Happy to see Jason back on some screen, regardless of what level it is. To me, it wasn't absolutely amazing, but it wasn't absolutely horrible either. So that's where I land on this one. So that's just I just want to do a quick video on this, just a quick review for Sweet Revenge, because again, it's something we've been talking about for quite some time, especially with the creation of now this Jason universe, and we're supposed to be getting a lot more content coming out of this. So before we go, one thing I do want to share, which we did talk about these before. I did pick these up just before they go out of print. They haven't gone out of print yet, but they were on sale like 40% off. So we did talk about these, the Arrow video release of Jason Goes to Hell in the 4K HDR, and then Jason X. Yep. I had no intentions on getting them, but they are both on sale, 40% off each. So I figure at that price, might as well pick them up, add them to the physical collection. And then, if you didn't know, real quickly off the Friday the 13th topic, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, and I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. Both of those are coming out via Arrow Video as well in 4K on the 26th of August. And I think both of those are on sale as well, like 35-40% off. So I'll definitely be picking those up. You guys know I absolutely love that remake. It's one of my favorites. So, all right, everyone, that's going to do it for this video. Again, Sweet Revenge, short film. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It is what it is, right? So drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you've watched Sweet Revenge. What score did you give it? If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Come back and let us know. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Later.